Hello, this is Dr. Mia Luth, and today is Stardate 11/1/2022. It's 11:25 a.m. Eastern. It's partly cloudy in 60s here where I am, which is Elkton, Maryland. Um, so now I am doing this particularly. Uh, I am going to turn on the light just in case some of it's going to be out of context, but I'm going to try and get this delivered to as many people as I can think of. Now it doesn't work at all. I can think of because now I was not. I am a certified paranormal investigator, and I wasn't doing any investigations at all. But you know, I've had post traumatic stress, and that was not from anything from my childhood because all that worked out. But I have mentioned to a few people, um, Dr. Kelly from Paranexus Universe, one of them, but a few other people, and I've been on a few. Anyway, I have high empathetic sensitivities and a few other gifts. Uh, I was attacked, and that was, I don't know, 2012. And since then, been, working through all that, right? But I need everybody to understand I've been to doctors, okay? And some of these behaviors with, like, I likely have Parkinsonism. And so I see doctors. There's some things that I know absolutely are just that. So, and I do not, you know, mess with my meds. So everybody just needs to know that I'm about as sober as anybody can get at this juncture. Um, and I've been back and forth with doctors, and so no one's ever mentioned certain things, but there are a few things that, even physically speaking, with a very good understanding of the human body, just aren't really matching up anymore either for me. But the activity that was back then slowed down, and it stopped, and I thought it was gone. But recently, in getting a little help, and I'm clearing out a lot of things, and I'm shutting down some things too because I'm just not gonna deal with it. But um like Twitter, yes, the internet, like I'm not, the TV's off, so I'm closing myself off from as much stimulus as I possibly can, so that I can, like, home. But unfortunately, uh, this I've I've never been actually, like, scared, frightened before any situation having to do with anything, right? Especially, and I have high attunement to angelic activity, which is why, a lot of times it's just, well, maybe I wait, okay, and find out. But throughout these maybe last 2 weeks, I was doing something completely different. And so none of it was something that I was personally really attempting to understand, or I didn't really have my mind focused on it. Okay. But certain things started happening, and, I'm a little more in tune because of just spiritual gifts, and from an investigative standpoint, right? Just naturally. Some of it, I just kind of made mental notes. And when I moved in, okay, this light, um, which I've turned on, doesn't want to work, which is new. But I am going to go whack at it again since it did that. Ah. I don't think it burned out. Well, that's one thing I'll have to do again. But video from yesterday, clearly shows it was working, and there were flashes at various times. And what I can say is, it's like what's not in the video, it's just not there. I don't have my own equipment. I don't. I mean, usually I'll just consult or something. And, all right, and the EMF that I had, it wasn't really that great. But I don't. My yeah, I don't have a. I don't have that. I don't use the cell phone for certain things because you know. But it just so happened that you know I happened to see activity right behind me when I was doing something else. Uh, and it kind of, I know my reaction to it was, see, because this was to me like, okay, I got it on video, right? Like right behind me. So I've got something. Okay. But I did those checks. And when I first moved in, maybe once or twice it would like, but like I said, people need to understand you do like every kind of check. I do have trouble getting up on ladders. This is another issue for me personally, a physical issue. So, but I might be able to check the bulbs, but they were working fine yesterday. And I've done nothing overnight. So, and the rest of the lights work. And there's been no disruption. But I've had other lights do a few couple things. And I heard a noise that just is not at all anything that I could find, and it was not anything I've heard in this apartment. And I know it was coming from the inside, and there was no one in the hallway. And you know, anyway, let's explain. I mean, if you look back from like 2 weeks from today, it's just kind of like my problem is like I went through way too much when it happened before, and I mean, to the point where I tried to kill myself. So, like, I thought this was all taken care of. And so, yes, I do see therapists. Trust me. I mean, it's not like, right. I haven't approached this like medically and other, but there's no doubt now because um, I, I haven't had anything like touch me, like that I can't see, right? For at least 10 years. And, but something did this time when I was in this apartment. And it wasn't grabbing, it wasn't touching. I mean, it wasn't, there's no, it wasn't like any kind of harsh situation. Okay. But that's disconcerting because I can't get into a big long thing. But this stuff, when it happened to me before, like, I can tell you, unfriendly. And my other situation is that, I've been, I clear as much as I can all the time. I don't use sage because when I was trying to, at some point way back when, it just seemed to agitate that situation a lot. So I don't do that. But other types of cleaning, and of course praying, and of course, I great. I mean, I can bless holy water. So don't think that I'm not like equipped in some ways, but this is like not okay. And there's video of like something else that will sometimes start trying to cause me harm. Now I understand that there's Parkinson's and other kind of thing, but I've tried to explain the sensations anyway. The other thing, along the way, at least a couple times in my life, somebody's mentioned because of how high my empathetic situation is that there I could have some form, and I don't know about all this really. honestly, of like a stigmata, but I'm not having like you know things that are out in the open public. Not quite like that. Okay. Um, right. However, along the way, there's been my general sense of certain things are okay, but I am scared now because I'm starting to hit really like depressive dips too that were not there, and I don't have equipment, but I can sense that probably equipment that was around would likely pick up something at this point, and uh, I'm I'm just frightened because I can't have it happen to me again. And the other situation that does may connect, which makes this even a little more difficult for me, not to be a little alarmed, is if there's been this like who attacked me lately, right? And I mean, I wasn't actively seeking, right? But and it would go away, and but I could tell like there's some friendly, like unfriendly activity. Now some of it I just know and it goes away, right? But these particular things that are happening, okay, are definitely you know adding up now, okay. But there's a documentary that I saw called the Dybbuk box. Now, I don't care how anybody else operates, but if somebody brought a Dybbuk box near me and said I would like immediately like put it in the freezer and then like wrap the freezer with like every kind of thing that I could, you understand? So I don't mess around that way. And some of it's not myth, that I know. So I was very concerned about that. However, it didn't hit me until recently that, like, after while I was watching it, I was in total shock. But the reason I was in total shock, that has just now become abundantly clear to me, is because a lot of that stuff that was happening in that documentary was a part of some of the things that were happening to me. And I was getting attacked. Okay, so I don't freaking know how these things work. You understand? But there are other things that might add up at this point. So I need, like, I can say two things. Seems very clear at this point. Whatever it is, which I may have company, is what I'm trying to say. You get it? And so far, it's not. I'm not doing any violent things, but that's. I've been in shock because a lot of that stuff that was in there is just like really familiar to me because of things that have been happening to me, and I'm concerned and I want extra eyes on, and I'm it's possible that something is keeping me awake purpose. So, my senses are off, and I, you know, I'm also maybe getting visions, and like, yeah, it's coming. Like, so I don't want to be alone, and I'm worried that whatever it is. See, every time I start sitting down the top, yeah, I mean, I understand perks and part, but yeah, it seems like yeah, maybe he's not too happy that I'm right. So it's another reason that I'm saying this is an emergency, and that you can at least trust that like there's some verification that I am actually who I say I am, and that like that's the best I can give to anybody who any investigator who has time and does not. I don't have any money, right? But yeah, I need some help, you know. Um, but all my information is down there. I'm a, I'm sensing that it's attacking females. Okay, so male investigators only, please. This, I'm not kidding. Males seem to do better. Okay, and so yeah, ladies, it's not. I won't. I don't want anybody psychically connected. You know what I'm saying? Right, please don't. Okay. And there's a lot of stuff I'm not going to talk about right now. But, you know, ow, ow, yep. And then if I keep talking sometimes, right, it'll start. Like, I can't tell if there's something, okay? But there's some mysteries even with some medical stuff. So if there's a chance I got something stuck, maybe it's tracked, but I need freaking help because it feels like things are starting to change really, really quickly. I did get surgery, but that's just the rundown. Okay. I'm 50 years old, by the way, so don't anybody think I don't have like years. And I'm a nerd and I'm an anomalous researcher generally. But I've experienced some things and I'm empathetic and I have highly tuned spiritual gifts. So I've done like clearing and I've done so I need help. I'm I'm scared. I don't get scared, no, but I'm frightened because something touched me, and like yeah, I don't know if it's trying to hurt me, but I can definitely say that I'm not dealing with a friendly situation, and it can't just be all like just medical stuff that can be explained at this juncture. I can say that. So I'm just getting this rundown, and I've actually cleared out some space in my apartment because there's got to be some, you know, yes, highly trained and, not so, yeah, I can't have like really frightened people around me, right? You see what I'm saying? But as paranormal people would be more understanding of what I'm saying. So, right? So I am afraid. And it may not, there may be something trying to keep me from going outside at this juncture. But I'm not having like any marks on me that I can find. Like there's certain things that are not happening, and I'm definitely not being told to do things. But ah, yeah, it just seems like yeah, especially when I said yes, it does. I don't think it wants me to talk, so I'm gonna stop. But I am concerned, and it is an emergency. So just anybody who has time and who can have some equipment, because I can just sense that there's stuff likely that we picked up, but there is some evidence, and so I just was totally not what I was doing. So I've had, but I'm getting exhausted, and, so my reads are off, and also like in my sleep I have sleep disturbances, but some of it's like ramping up. I could use some help. That's all I'm gonna say as soon as possible. But my phone number is 267-367-9446, and my address and all other kinds of things. There's also been some slight digital goof ups that have been happening here and there. And so, you know, I'm just mentioning them. It may not be related, but I'm just mentioning things that I can think of that could possibly. But harm is coming to me in a way that I just got to go this way. I can't, like, yeah, I can't do it other way. But I have doctors and there's I mean, right. So, I'm trying to hit this from every angle, but yeah, that frightened me, being touched like that. But I'm also frightened that there's like too much similarity between, and so I don't know what, but I could use some help figuring this out. You can probably get data. I mean, I'm sure with equipment, and you're just whoever, just please, as soon as possible, contact me. Thank you.